Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Newspaper Headlines and Analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. And this morning, I have with me in the studio a public affairs analyst, Falamia. Welcome on board this morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Okay, so the national adrenaline is quite high, and of course the politics eating up. But then allow me to start with something that has nothing to do with politics. We'll start with this day. I have this headline that says that Chimamanda serves legal notice over son's death. Sanwo-Olu others probe, and that headline, is with a lot of writers. So let me read this too. Author demands certified copies of all medical records. One to addresses alleged inconsistencies in Iraqi's statement. Let's talk about the story. It's quite sad. I mean that, there's a popular writer lost one of her sons, and then according to her, it was due to negligence because, the boy was just a little bit, I think warm at the time, and then they took him to the hospital, and then something, a little bit sad happened. They gave him more than the dose is supposed to be given, and that led to the death of the boy. And according to Chimamanda, this is not the first time that certain person will be doing this. What do you make of all of this, really?
Well, that just tell you the situation of our medical hospitals and our health facilities in Nigeria here, and then I will relate that to why we need to call back many of our politicians, our leaders, who neglect the proper taking care of our health sectors and travel abroad. If the president has been using any of these, if the governors are using it, if the rep are using it, if those in the assist of our assembly are using it, and our big men are consistently focusing on our health sectors, we may not have all these events happening. It's so sad because I also have witnessed one. Look, for example, right now, UCH is on strike. And we will lose count if we start counting the number of deaths that have happened due to that strike. And when you go to private hospitals, you see them flock up. The places are jam-packed, and because of that, they put up anything just to maintain their hospitals and keep people that out of ignorance keep going, and because health is wealth, And it's very sad. When I read that story yesterday, I see that the government has abandoned its people and abandoned the health sectors, and that was why I don't know the calling of this probe right now, because it's not the first time that is happening. We've had cases of where a particular military officers went into the hospital, destroy everything, and intend to kill some of those nurses and doctors for the negligence in the result of the son's death. I think that happened around 2002 when such happened, and I personally had an encounter of such. We have a case where we have a particular a story that go on viral, where a particular man was diagnosed, and they said they have mosquitoes in his body, whereas it was as a result of the camera that took the particular scan that gave rise to that. And until when the man got abroad, before they detected that nothing was happening. When somebody told you that you are going to be diagnosed, you are going to go through some surgery, immediately some sickness fall on you, and you felt like death is closer. But when somebody is telling you that you are getting better very soon, we are doing this, and after we do this, you will get better, you start seeing yourself recuperating from activity will start coming into your life, and you see yourself getting better, and that is so sad. You see, I don't know what we are going to make up of our health sectors, and if our governments are not taking care of their negligence is continue to rise in this case, then Nigeria is in the death trap already.
Okay, of course the government has a role to play, but what about those anesthetists? That could not actually give the boy the right dose. And according to Chimamanda, this is not the first time that this person will be doing this. What should happen to that person? Because
well, the person needs to be questioned. At the same time, it tells us that we are employing hands that are not fit enough. We have many of these centers, health schools that are on ground now. But where are the doctors? Where are the nurses? Many of them, after training here, they find themselves abroad, and we are left with the ones that we are to do it. Even if the person has been reported the first time, the second time, it means that person is due to be changed or sacked out of the place. But when they cannot get other hands to work, what will they do? They keep giving a kind of warning, don't do that again. The next time, don't do that again. Because they cannot find another person to replace he or she. And that is why you find these cases on right now. But the deed has been done. What are we going to do? What are we going to do to prevent such occurrence again? Should be our focus right now. And that is where I want to call on the government to see that we have proper trainings of those who will have come into the health sectors or the schools to train, and in employing them, they get another training on ground. There are training and retraining to a particular point that you can be certified that yes, anybody attending to patients is doing the right thing. Until we are not doing that, then we are closer to grave. Everybody is closer to grave anyway.
May the Lord be with us on that. And I want to believe that, issues like this will not come up again so that people can be safe. Let's talk about this headline on Nigerian Tribune. I have this one that is talking about Kwakwanso. 2027 Kwakwanso will not be allowed to contest on a platform, and that's coming from NNPP. It's really funny to think that, he was the flag bearer in the last election, and of course, I think when this person was even talking, he said, he likes to brag about his, 1 million votes, so he's not going to get it this time around. Unlike 2023, when, the ticket was given to him, he's going to, if at all, he's going to slug it out with people. And then what you make of that? Because, even the body language of Kwakwanso at this time is saying whichever party is going to, they must be ready to either give him the presidency ticket or the vice president ticket.
Well, that tells you that Kwakwanso himself is going down already. The political value of Kwakwanso is no more there. And we know Kwakwanso when he was in the Senate, when he was governor. I know they used to brag of 1 million votes, 2.5 million votes coming from Kaduna. Right now, we have a situation where the vote has been splitted. Now we may be getting an INEC who will be on his toe to see that those underage that are voting, that is giving them the belief that they have 2 billion votes, 1 million votes, is no longer to be there. And that tells you that some of them are already losing their political value. Kwakwanso is losing his political value as long as his party is not in agreement with him. You can see that at the point he was bidding for the vice president, he was asking if he would be on the seat of the ministers with the president. Okay. That was the time he was asking for coalition, and he was putting up a bid that to me looks too much for a man who just won a state. And I want to also ask what have happened to all his other chapters in their state. Come to your state right now. They have so many meetings. They have factions upon factions here in your state. The time was when a man who was formerly with the president, with the sitting governor, was leading a faction, and at the time they lost, he came back again. They make use of him to gather other people to come into the party. And right now, I can tell you boldly that the NPP, whatever party that he has claimed to form on ground, is no more there.
What if he defects to the APC and he becomes the running mate?
No, whoever that defects to APC, all sins are forgiven. That has been their slogan. If he defects to APC, and APC felt that his political value is still high, if they gave it to him, I don't think they will win in that state.
Really, if he goes the running mate to president, because there was a time that a lot of we heard rumors about the fact that the current deputy Shettima might be dropped.
If Shettima is dropped, all Shettima's camp and supporters will go into the opposition. They will go to the opposition. Yes, there are rumors that, but it's not going to change the card. The card still remain Muslim tickets.
Okay.
The card will remain Muslim tickets, and you understand what is going on right now about the Muslim and the Christian in Nigeria. So if Kwakwanso want to put up anything, I don't see Kwakwanso becoming better than Shettima. I don't see Kwakwanso becoming better than Shettima. That is me. And that was why I would say that Shettima is even vertical value is even very high than that of Kwakwanso. Yes, he won his state. Yes, he has gathered some, but some of his members too are already thinking otherwise how to leave the party into the ruling party, because they understand that those who find themselves in the ruling party are getting better offer than those who are on the opposition. And until the opposition come out to redesign the political space and give the people the best option as presentation during their campaign, these sitting presidents and this party may readily come back again in 2027.
Okay, let's talk about the opposition for a moment. I'm taking another headline from Nigerian Tribune. It says, defection, death, court cases leave Labour Party with 0 senators. ADC gains displaces Labour Party in third position. ABGA, NNPP, SDP, hold 1 seat, 8. Let's start with Labour Party. What's the fate of that political party now that the former presidential candidate has left?
ADC. ADC has put up all his manifesto, all his formation under the neck of one person, Peter Obi.
I don't agree with that.
I will agree with
the body language of Atiku is also saying, I want to contest. He said it several times.
Yes, let Atiku keep saying that so that he can keep becoming more valuable. You know, immediately Atiku dropped that statement that he's not going to contest, then he's no more valuable. It shows that, you know, that is the strength of a politician. You keep saying that you have this formula, you have these followers, you have this formula. Tell them that you want to contest, even when you know that you, in your mind, you're not going to contest. You know, when just like when Bakari was saying that he's going to contest the presidency, you know, he gave us the money prophecy that yes, he will come out and contest presidency of the APC with anybody who is coming up, and that was when Bola Ahmed Tinubu was also contesting. You know, look at Oshibajo. Oshibajo after presidency and after losing the presidency seat, primaries. Who is Oshibajo right now? You will not hear of Oshibajo that is in Ibadan. If you will be surprised to see that this morning Oshibajo may be in Ibadan at a seminar on Ring Road, addressing some people that are not. So this political value is no more there, and that is just it. Atiku is a politician. He knows the political language that he need to maintain until the last day, where the people in his party will say no, we have picked another person.
Talking about Atiku, Dati Baba Ahmed, that's the running mate to be through a subtle jab over the weekend.
Yes.
And he said in 1992, while he was a serving corps member, Atiku was contesting for presidency, and he's still contesting.
Yes, because he still has his strength and he still believes in his followers. Atiku also contested with MK Abiola in 1993, you know, and he was dropped for MK Abiola. It's part of why he was dropped that made Obasanjo to pick him as the vice president, because he actually won Adamawa, and that was what gave him the Turaki of Adamawa. You know, he won that Adamawa, and the vice president became the governor at that time. History will always stand in. Yes, let's Dati Baba keep saying that whatever he has said has also given Atiku a kind of advert to tell you that Atiku is not a small boy in politics. Atiku has his political strength. He has the wealth to take care of all that. At every state, Atiku may likely have 1 or 2 wives there, and that is his formula. He has his followers, but the truth of the matter is that his value is depreciating, and as the politics in the country becomes stronger, the likes of Atiku may just be forced to go back to the board as the political board chairman. You know, in every particular political party, they have board councils. So, but for now, Atiku will not drop that statement telling you that he's not going to contest. It will not happen, and that is why as he keeps saying that, and his followers who believe so much in him will still putting more fuel into it, and that will tell the person who wants to contest to come into him and negotiate and tell Atiku, this is what you give us, this is what we will give you, this is what we will give you, to make him realize that okay, if you are going to give me this and this and this and this, then I might be likely thinking at dropping my ambition. But to drop the ambition right now is not going to happen. Atiku is somebody that can come back. He contested under the party of Bola Ahmed Tinubu now against the sitting governor then, president then, Jonathan. He contested the primary that brought Jonathan in as the president. So Atiku he knows all the nooks and crannies of this state, of this country. He knows those that he need to pick to make his followers in each state. Atiku is a big person in politics. Apart from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku is the next person before I cannot talk about Obasanjo, because they take the ticket that made Obasanjo the second person, that made him to come back for the second time. Obasanjo Atiku 2003 was Atiku's handmade. He did the work. He worked the analysis. He brought the people in. So Atiku is not new. He understands what he's saying. And the truth of the matter is that he knew that the strength may not be there.
Speaking of Obasanjo, you mentioned him. Now that I watched a clip recently, and then a lot of Nigerians before now have been asking that why is it that OBD has never supported Atiku? And he said, hey, for people who have read his book, if he decides to support Atiku, God will not forgive him.
That secret is between Atiku and Obasanjo, because they both work together.
Okay.
They understand what actually happened. You know, it was at the case of the power supply and power distribution then that the president put in charge of Atiku to work and do things. And he's also made it in a particular interview that they never knew that it will run that way. They actually pay all the money and there was no result for it. You see, Obasanjo may not, if you know Obasanjo very well, he's somebody that when he close allies with you and you disappoint him, even when you just have one reason for the sin, Obasanjo may not forgive you.
And he's looking for the opportunity to expose all that you have done.
That is just him.
Okay.
Forget about Obasanjo. He's also a politician. He's also a politician.
Okay.
He's also a politician. He was a Nigerian military president, and he was a Nigerian civilian president. He's a politician, and he's still a politician. Even until me, I heard this morning or next year, because I don't want him to die now, that he's dead. That is this gimmick. That is this. But when Baba is not pleased with you, nothing can make him change his mind.
Okay, let's talk about the other opposition parties now. ADC gains, displaces Labour Party in third position. ABGA, NNPP, SDP hold one seat each. And a lot of analysts and politicians, even if you like, they've come out to say that with what APC is doing now, with the capacity, with the strength of APC, is looking like it cannot fail. Look, let's not forget that your empire at a time, they are not quite similar, but I'm just trying to draw something out from this. Expanded to the corners of Yoruba land. And it was because of that expansion, it was that expansion that led to the fall of Oyo Empire. So APC now, yes, is strong, about 28 or 29 governors, and of course senators, speakers and the like. Do you think APC as a party has what it takes? How can they manage this so-called expansion that it will not look like what happened to PDP the last time?
APC will soon fall, and the kind of falling APC will fall this time around will be in pieces. Like you said in the Yoruba Empire, it is better you have them very few than you have them very large. Because every person will want to dominate his or her own territory and decide and dictate for his people.
But president is strategic according to a lot of persons.
According to who? The president strategically motivation is, okay, now Oyo State let's come to Oyo State. Right now, who is the leader of the party in Oyo State? Who?
You told me. There was a time that, Makinde said the president asked him to organize Oyo APC, and he said he wasn't going to do that.
Who is the leader here now? Will you tell me that Akpankala is the leader? Will you say the minister for power is the leader for part of this party in Oyo State? Or will you tell me that is Teslim Folari, former governorship candidate? Or will you say it's Ajimobi's wife? The three of them are in charge. But who is the leader? Presently, people are even rallying more around Ajimobi's wife than they rally more with the minister for power. Because that is just it. You go see, and each of them has their followers. Ajimobi has his followers, even after death. Till date, he's loyalist. You see, Mama's kind of politics and leadership, as at the time the husband was alive, was such that he created a kind of portfolio that made many people to surround him. He has many aides, he has many essays. He created the platform for many people to flow. I can count of not less than 12 myself. Or people I can even show you their houses. He made them to flow. He put up a platform that people will want to even work with her than they will work with the husband. But how do we want to suggest that of the Teslim Folari and that of the Adelabu? Because you see, people who have worked with him the first time that he contested, the second time that he contested and lost, are already thinking otherwise for his third time coming. Now, who is the party leader here in Oyo State? That one. Two is that, yes, the party is becoming bigger. But the truth is that as they become bigger, they become too powerful to control. The president is just there. Okay, let's just wait for the Oyo State election. That will tell you where we are going.
That's very near. And of course, a lot of persons will always say that Osun is a peculiar state. But good luck to the people of Osun State. But then Accord Party several times have released a statement to say Adeleke is their sole candidate, though there are discourse, between the party. But I don't think time will permit us.
It was created.
It was created.
It was intentional.
Okay, next time we'll visit that conversation. Every thanks to you, Afolabi,
Thank you very much for
being a part of this discussion. Of course, to the audience, thank you for joining us. We need to take a short break. When we come back, we move on to Big Story. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Please stay with us.